They not like sex? Oh yes, in future we'll have a birth incubators and this crazy thing will no more needed. If you are not feeling you like it, maybe do not engage. The right person may not be there, or you may not be in your right state to receive it. Either way, it's best to not engage until you come back to yourself. Not exactly sure in what context you mean. But I've had some bad relationships with people that make me scared to seek it out. Still enjoy having it though. Guy here. Have a BF. First year loots of sex. Then we both kinda just got over it, plus I started anxiety meds close to the start, which just kills sex drive. So both low sex drive and we didn't care. Been together 7 years so far, mostly without it, and doesn't affect the relationship really. Although I changed to bipolar meds a year ago, in the last 2 months the sex drive hit me like a truck. The sexual frustration is getting real. But I just go sort myself out in the spare room. Sorry for being gross. But anyway, if you don't care for sex in general, you might be asexual, which is completely normal, and others should be considerate about it. The first few times you do it can be very underwhelming. Like it doesn't meet the hype you had created in your head. Give it a while until you're comfortable in your own skin doing it. It gets better. Maybe it's Amy problem, as my depression meds were prescribed at a very young age. Apparently that causes issues. But yeah, I don't have feelings there, if you catch my drift. I used to at some point. But now it's like the nerves are dead. Has caused a lot of problems in my relationships. Is definitely irreversible, as getting off the medication for 2 years did nothing. I don't finish it all. Never have and possibly never will. I do wonder what that part of my life would be like if I wasn't cursed with lifelong dysfunction from SSRIs. What's one thing you wish you had done in your 20s that would have changed the directory of your life? I should have understood personal finances better. I should have taken advantage of the employee retirement matching at the corp I worked at for many years. I just did not understand free money and just looked at the next paycheck. I didn't get my bachelor's and master's degrees until I was in my 40s, and sometimes wish I'd done so in my 20s. That said, I traveled the world. Took a lot of LSD. Met my wife and started a family in my 20s, 30s, so I was kinda busy. I do wonder what life would have been like if I'd continued to PhD in my late 20s. Though, I got offered a 3-year contract to work on the Canary Islands. It would have been double pay. Plus a housing stipend. Plus a food stipend. Plus a small allowance to help pay for the place I left in the US. Plus round-trip 2 tickets a year to fly home. Plus, at the time, no taxes for expats, so I would have kept all of the money. I wish I had gone. Therapy. I'm 28 now, but I wish I had started years ago. Would have been able to prevent years of terrible mental and emotional habits that now are so difficult to adjust. And just would feel so much more comfortable exploring and understanding my feelings. I've been in therapy for about 2 years now, and it's definitely been incredibly helpful. But it feels like I'll need to continue going for at least a few years more based on where I feel I'm at currently. Well, I'm 26 now. But I spent my early 20s doing literally nothing with my life and not even attempting to help myself. I wish I would have done fucking something. Anything during that time rather than sulk and mope around without even trying. It wasn't until I hit my mid-20s that I started making positive changes for myself, and thankfully I did start eventually. But still, I literally wasted my early 20s. Why do dogs need regular grooming to avoid matted fur and painful nail overgrowth? How do they survive in the wild given they're not able to groom their fur and nails like other animals? How do they always get to such terrible conditions naturally? You think a Chihuahua or a Dachshund naturally survived in nature? They were domesticated to survive with people from wolves. Mostly because dog species that need grooming to keep looking good are being bred by humans in heavily controlled environments specifically to look good. Wild dogs, as in those that been in the wild for several generations and survived, don't need much grooming. With their claws grinding down against the ground when they walk, run and dig whatever they like. And with their fur often being short, not requiring much grooming in the first place. They don't need regular grooming if you don't wash the natural oils out of their fur. Obviously, once that's been done, you need to look after their fur because they can't. We've never needed to trim our dogs' claws because the terrain they spend their lives on wears them down. I'd imagine that as a dog spent its entire life on grass, it would need regular claw trimming. It's called selective breeding in evolution. They picked dogs with specific fur qualities and kept overbreeding them. Wolves and foxes shed their coat in different seasons, and most animal hair only grow a certain length. They picked individuals who could have a mutation of having longer hair or different textures, and over time they bred them to have infinite hair growth, just like how sheep are bred to grow wool. As the other comments say, nails naturally worn down from activity. They roll around and such. And plus their diet would handle that as well. Then due to how animals have been bred for personal use. And then how humans manufacture food built to be nutritious for the animals, plus all the vitamins in one meal, it's more than they'd be eating in the wild. We've really changed dogs from the original dogs and quad. They prefer to hang out with people who talk way more than them? Why are y'all copying the first guy's comment, lol? Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences, and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes. Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences, and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes. Yes, but there is definitely a point of diminishing returns. Nobody likes a perma foghorn. Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences, and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes. No, because I can't get a word in. Then they have the nerve to ask why I'm so quiet. Yeah, I vibe better with them being an introvert. Often can't effortlessly have a conversation on my own. Rather be around someone who talks a lot. Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes. Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes. Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes. Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes. Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes. Well, if it breaks the ice with new people, it avoids those awkward silences and I can say something only when I really want to. So sometimes yes.